Hey everybody. Salena here, Salena Baca Crochet. And it's the final countdown. We've got one more week before my next book is out for everyone to love and enjoy. So because we only have 1 week left, I thought I would talk more about Crochet Tops. It is a skill building book. So I wanted to read some of the things in the book and I wanted to answer any questions you guys might have about it. I'm super excited for this to be coming out. And I can't wait to hear what you guys think, all right? If you guys already have this book on pre-order, let me know in the comments. I can't wait to see how many of you guys are interested in this, okay? And again, if you guys have any questions about Crochet Tops, it is a skill building book. It has 26 simple patterns for first-time sweaters, shrugs, ponchos, and more. If you guys have any questions about it, just let me know. In the meantime, come on over, say hey, say hello, tell me where you're viewing from. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to read through, see who's here, give you guys a shout out, and answer any questions that you guys might have about it, okay? So Crochet Tops, oh my gosh, this is a book that took me a year and a half, maybe 2 years to put together. It took me a really long time. And that's like from initial, I think this is what I want to do, to sketching out designs, to deciding what yarns would pair with what and what sizes and what everything's going to look like, and having everything tested and swatching and making samples and then getting it to my editor and then proofing and all of that stuff. This is probably a good 2 years worth of work. This is not just another crochet book. I really wanted to make sure that my very first book that is 100% me, because that's what this is, 100% me. So this is the first time Salena Baca not only is the author, but is the contributor 100%. So I produced a few books in the past, and each one of those books was a collection. So it was myself and then some of my favorite designers contributing to a collection of books. And this is a little different. This is just me. These are only my designs. This is my very first time producing a collection of designs that's just mine. So that was a little bit more work than I typically put into a book. Now, the reason I wanted to put this particular book together is because I've always liked crochet clothes, but I've not always felt confident making crochet clothes. I had far more questions than I had answers, and quite a few of the initial projects that I tried to make in crochet, I just was doing everything wrong. I didn't understand what style was. I didn't understand what fit was. I didn't understand how to pair yarns with projects so that they would give me the style and fit that I was looking for. So there were a lot of things I just didn't understand. And just through all of that trial and error, through all of the projects that I made that didn't work out, and I just thought, maybe I just can't crochet. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I really doubted myself because there were just some simple things that I just wasn't doing correctly. And after I made all the mistakes, I realized, oh, I can crochet clothes. And now I feel like I've learned a lot, so much so that I put together a skill building book that not only gives you 26 simple patterns for first-time sweaters, shrugs, ponchos, and more, but it gives you some information and it gives you a skill building approach. And that way, maybe you're like me and you're not comfortable making clothes. Maybe you're like I was and you just thought, maybe I just can't do this, or it just doesn't look good in crochet, or it's just not my jam. This book goes through not only different ways to approach clothing, but there's also some great information in here about how you can approach clothing so that you can feel successful, okay? So what I'd like to do now is read to you the introduction written by me, Salena Baca. It's so exciting to say that, to like see your face in print and know that it's you. I don't know. I'm a nerd. I'm sorry. So here goes. I want to read to you guys the introduction because it tells you guys a little bit more about this book and why I wrote it and how the book kind of goes. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna read to you guys. All right. So again, if you're watching live, come on over, say hey, say hello. If you have any questions about Crochet Tops, my book that's coming out in 1 week on March 1st, just let me know in the comments because I'm going to be going through all those in just a minute. Okay, so here goes the introduction. I am reading it from my book, Crochet Tops. So here it is. My design approach is to create projects that look complicated but are actually simple to follow and work up. True, right? That's me. Is that me? Yeah, it's me. I think this is especially important when we make things to wear because most crocheters are intimidated by concepts like yarn selection, gauge, size, complex stitch and row repeats, seams and joins, and fit. Those are all things that I struggle with, and those things all really held me back from making clothes that I wanted to wear. So there you go. But learning just a few simple techniques and following progressively built designs will really advance your confidence and abilities. You'll build your skills, I promise. In this book, I'll break down these concepts to help you develop your crochet knowledge and skills so that you can build gorgeous crochet tops, sweaters, vests, ponchos, and so much more. Whether you're brand new to crochet or finally ready to make your first top, there are a few things to note when using this book so that you can feel confident and be successful. So here it is. Here's my tips. First, start with the simple shapes. This book has a few different sections, and those particular sections are, let me tell you what they are. Simple shapes, intriguing stitches, motif designs, and then top down and in the round. So there are 4 different sections, and so that's kind of what I'm talking about right now. So first, start with simple shapes. I suggest starting in the beginning section of this book and working your way through because each section builds on the last. If you've never crocheted a top before, starting here will help you to learn about yarn choice, gauge, size, fit, and more. See, in the simple shapes section, we're really just taking very simplistic shapes. I'm talking squares and rectangles. So you're concentrating more so on the fabric that you're creating so that you can understand pairing together a yarn that's going to give you a good style and a good fit. You're understanding the construction of shapes that merge into a top that you can wear. So that's what I mean by it's a really gentle introduction to, if you've never crocheted anything to wear before, it's a really good place to start so you can really have that time to practice those elements and really feel confident about what you're doing. I'll continue with the introduction. Next, read the design descriptions, okay? So design descriptions are in the beginning of every single pattern. Every design is listed in order of difficulty. So I start with the simplest and it works through to the most complex, each with more skills, parts, or instructions than the last pattern. The most important specifications for each design have been outlined so that you can feel confident about what you need to know to be successful or what you may learn as you work. So I'm going to read a specification for one of the designs here, but it just tells you, it gives you a better introduction for how it is that you're going to be approaching a design or what's required to complete that design. And that way you can really get an understanding for how to work it. After that, be sure to use the right yarns. I can't stress that enough, but this by no means is a book full of yarns that are complicated, hard to find, not easy to substitute. It's none of those things. So all of the yarns within this book, you might have heard of them. They come from really big yarn companies that you can easily find either in your local yarn shops or online. And they're also really easy to substitute. So if there's a yarn that you just can't find or you'd like to use something else, I'm using weights and types that you can find alternatives for pretty easily. The materials you use are crucial to getting the best style, look, and feel for your crochet top. All yarns in this book are sourced from major commercial companies and should be easily accessible in your local shops or online. However, you can also use the yarn alternatives suggested for each design. So closer to the publication time, I really went through just to make sure I was getting the most updated information possible in terms of yarn alternatives. So I love using Yarn Sub. So for every single one of these designs, I did go to Yarn Sub and I really thoroughly looked at every single yarn that I used to make sure that I had a really good list of substitutes. And I'm still reading the introduction, but I keep paraphrasing and chatting with you guys. But here's the last section. Finally, read and practice before you start. Well, there is nothing more satisfying than starting a new crochet project. There is nothing more frustrating than feeling stuck and confused. That's why I suggest reading the entire pattern from size and finish measurements down through the instructions to make sure you've got what you need to get started. If a special stitch or technique is required, just take some time to practice it first. And finally, be sure to check out the resources section at the back of this book for more help and have fun building your crochet skills and wardrobe. Peace, love, crochet. Salena Baca. So there it is. There's the introduction. That's what this book is. That's what you can expect from it. And before any of the patterns, I do have some other information. I've got some tips for successful skill and crochet top building, from using stitch markers to what yarn substitution is and how you can do it, blocking your fabric, caring for finished pieces, swatching, and gauge made easy. I've got a lot of tips in here. So there's a lot of great information to help you really feel confident and comfortable about what you're doing. Okay, now I'm going to share with you some of the sections. The first section is Simple Shapes. Simple Shapes is, well, let me just read it to you because I read and then I paraphrase. So here goes. It's a beginner's paradise. Squares and rectangles are a breeze to work up, and these are perfect shapes to help introduce you to gauge, tension, size, and your next favorite top. Each of these designs are worked in just 1, 2, or 3 pieces using very simple stitch variations and row repeats. Awesome. Okay, so the first design in the book is the Woodberry Poncho. I did name it after one of my favorite people in the crochet world, Amanda Woodbury. Amanda, are you here watching? Amanda was one of my pattern testers in this book, and something that I did for my pattern testers in this is that if they tested a certain number of designs, they got to pick their favorite pattern that they tested, and I named it after them. So Amanda Woodbury tested quite a few patterns for me, and this was her favorite design, so I named it after her, the Woodberry Poncho. So every single pattern starts with this little intro right here, okay? So it doesn't just tell you what it is in like some fancy flowery words, it tells you what to expect from it. So the Woodberry Poncho says, this design is just one long panel sewn together on one side, leaving a head opening, of course. You'll use chain, single, and triple crochet stitches to make this open work fabric. So already it's telling you how it's worked, what stitches you're going to use, and how it's constructed. So this really is the easiest pattern in the book so far. For every single pattern, sizes and finish measurements, dimensions are given. And there's, sizes go from small all the way up to XXL, depending on the particular style and how many sizes are necessary for that style. Because this is a poncho and, the size is pretty forgiving, this comes in 3 sizes in the book: small, medium, large. It gives gauge, it tells you what yarns I used, it also gives a list of yarn alternatives, hook, other kinds of materials that you'll need, specialty stitches and techniques complete with the definition if needed, notes, instructions, finishing techniques, graphics, anything you need. Okay, let me show you the next section. Pretty excited about it. Pretty excited. I always sing to you guys. I hope you appreciate it. Hope you appreciate my singing. It's my second talent. All right, the next section is Intriguing Stitches. So I'm going to read this one to you and show you the first design, and we'll go from there. Yay! Intriguing Stitches, easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If you can make a few simple shapes, these projects will be a breeze. Take each design here a section at a time, and you'll create one really fantastic piece. Not peach. There are no peach making in here. No peach making. Each of these designs is worked in 2 or more pieces using more complex stitch variations and row repeats with some increasing and decreasing. So up until this point, the basic shapes, It's basic shapes and very simplistic stitch repeats. So it's not long, complicated stitch sections and row sections, but it's certainly not just boring fabrics that you're creating. So with intriguing stitches, we're really kind of just adding a little bit more to it. And the first pattern in this section is the Sprightly Pullover. This design is worked from the neck down in 2 pieces. So you're creating the front panel and the back panel, and then it's sewn together to complete the piece. However, those 2 panels are not exactly the same. The front panel uses a slightly different set of stitches to create that ever popular high-low look. So the front of this definitely kind of curves a little bit, and it goes up just a little bit further than the back. And the back just kind of, it's just a little longer in the back. Here you can see it's not worn right here. Here's just a piece by itself, and you can see it just slightly, just a couple inches kind of goes up here in the front than it will in the back. Again, every single pattern comes with sizes, finish measurements, gauge, yarn, hook and other materials, notes, instructions, finishing techniques, and if needed, a little graphic. Okay, the next section, Motif Designs. Yay! Who hates motifs? Just raise your hand, be honest. It's okay. It's okay if you fear the motifs. I did for a really long time, especially pertaining to clothing, because I was like, that's a lot of sewing. So what I love about the time and effort that I put into this particular section of Motif Designs is that you have something, you know, as repeating as this motif sewn to, you know, kind of joined together. So you have something as repeating as this, but then you also have motifs just kind of embellished within a design. And all of the designs use different kinds of joining techniques. So you're not just doing something over and over and over again. It really is teaching you different ways to join, if you like, and different kinds of motifs that can be incorporated into these designs. So Motif Designs, joining techniques mastered. Motifs are just pieces of crochet that are joined together to create one solid piece of fabric. Shaping them together with easy joins and seams will give you timeless skills and designs to wear. Each of these designs is worked by joining different shapes and styles of motifs together using complex stitch variations, and they're worked in rounds and rows. Ooh. Ooh. So the first one we see here is the hawk poncho. Remember, every pattern in this book starts with the most simplistic, and then they get progressively more complex, I should say. So in this particular section, the hawk poncho is the easiest one to create. This design is created with 2 hexagon motifs worked in joined increasing rounds. You'll finish each hexagon with shoulder tabs that seam together and create a wide head opening. This self-striping yarn adds depth to the solid fabric, which is simply worked with double crochet and chain stitches. So there you go. It starts with motifs as simplistic as 2 hexagons together. There's also this ultra modern, oh my gosh, one of my favorites, granny squares that are seamed together to create this poncho. And then there's another hexagon, but it's an oversized hexagon. So it's 2 oversized hexagons. So 2 motifs sewn together. But they're sewn together. Sorry, they're not sewn together. They're joined together with crochet when you're done. So you're learning this mesh zigzaggy technique. I told you guys, you're learning lots of stuff when you do this. Next is the poncho pullover. Shout out to Hillary Thompson for being one of my awesome pattern testers and choosing that design to be named after her. Ramsdell Cardigan. Shout out to Miss Ramsdell. Shout out Jackie Ramsdell. Okay. And last but not least is the top down in the round section. So of course these designs are worked from the top down and they're worked in joined rounds. And so there's a lot of stuff going on here. Let me read it to you. Experience steps taken slow. Wonderful designs can be made from the neck down with the right shaping and increases. From sweaters and ponchos to tanks and shirts, these designs have more complex instructions, but they can easily be mastered when you take it slow, just one step at a time. Each of these designs is worked from the neck down with increasing and joined rounds. Creative stitch variations and repeats are aplenty here. So the first one here is an oldie but a goodie. You guys know this design. It is something that I call the Perfect Poncho. This is something that I designed for this book, but I released it early, so it's not exclusive to the book. This is probably this got me on the long road of I love all the ponchos. One of my favorites. This pattern begins with a long chain, followed by joins and increases in every round. The fabric is worked with a repeat of double crochet and chain stitches with a distinct point in the front and the back. Self-striping yarn is a great fit for this layering piece, but you can use any color yarn you like. As a matter of fact, I made it in a few different colors. All right, top down in the round. We also have the Julie Lynn poncho, something that you guys are familiar with. Oldie but a goodie. Here's a new one, Lindsey Blouse, of course, from the ever-talented Lindsey. I love you, Lindsey. Thank you for being one of my pattern testers. Super excited about that design. Super, super duperness. Rainbow top. You guys love this design, and my beautiful friend and model, Christy Kwan. She's my local friend. Looks absolutely beautiful in this top. Top down in the round with all those rainbows, all those color changes. Pistachio Poncho, you guys know that one, also modeled by my beautiful friend Christy. And tweed sweater. That's a favorite. I released that one early. It's not exclusive to the book, and I'm so glad that I did because that's one of my favorites. They're all my favorites, but that's one of my super favorites because it is. Abbreviations, resources. What else is in here? Contributors. Let me tell you guys how much I appreciate all of my pattern testers who helped in this book. Megan Cloutier, Vanessa Guida, Cheryl Hawk, The Courtney, Jackie Ramsdell, Lindsay Strippelhoff, Hillary Thompson, Shauna Underwood, Amanda Woodbury, Linda Woodthorpe, and Michelle Wolf. Those were all the pattern testers that helped in this book. They did an amazing job. And again, a lot of them got patterns named after them. So I was super stoked to share that with them. Yarn support from some of my favorite yarn companies, Cascade Yarns, Knit Picks, Lion Brand Yarn, Red Heart Yarn, and Sprightly Yarns by Bluprint, which sadly is no more. But we were already knee-deep in production, so I do have some awesome substitutes for you guys. All right, guys. That's it. That's my book. That's the whole thing. I talked enough. Let's see who's here, what you guys are saying, and let me give some shout-outs and answer any questions that you guys might have. Oh my gosh, so many of you guys are saying things. I'm scrolling forever. Terry Sampson is here. Lisa, hello, so good to see you. Angelica's watching. Sophie, so good to see you. Amy McKeever, always a pleasure. Rosetta Williams is here. Monica Mercado, hello, hello. DePauli is here. Vanessa. This is the Vanessa tea, named after the Vanessa. Rosetta Williams is watching. Terry Sampson. Rosa Perez. DePauli, happy Monday, so good to see you. Angelica, good to see you. Rosetta, hello, happy Monday from Kentucky, she says. Angelica says hi to everyone. Dawn says hi from New York. Terry, she says, I have it on pre-order. I can't wait till you get it. As soon as you get it, take a picture, share it in the group. I can't wait to see. Monica Mercado, she says she has it in her cart. It's actually, I saw that Amazon, if you buy books from Amazon, you can buy books wherever you want to buy books. Amazon currently has this for $22.99. So that's a few dollars off. That's not bad. That's not bad, Amazon. Hillary Thompson is here. Hello, Hillary Thompson. Of course, she has the Thompson Poncho named after her in this book. If you guys want to take a closer look at all of the designs, I only showed you a few. All you have to do is click on the link in the video description. Also, when you click on that link, you can find a few different links to either find this book in a local library or get it requested so that your local library has it. But you can also find a few resources to buy it online. Again, it is only available for pre-order right now, but it will be out. It will be shipping. Should be March 1st. That's the release date. So that's another reason I'm so excited about this. Angelica has it on pre-order. Amanda Woodbury says, waiting on mine any day now. I haven't shipped yours yet, Amanda Woodbury. I'm so sorry to say. I just started accumulating all this stuff I had to ship, and I was like, okay, I'm not going this week. I'm going next week. So Amanda Woodbury, your book is wrapped up and ready to ship because you were one of my awesome pattern testers. It is coming to you. It's coming. Donna Lombardo is here from Buffalo, New York. Rebecca says, I keep expanding our crochet section at my library by requesting they buy your books. Thank you, Rebecca. And I'm so proud to hear that. I'm so glad that your local library is going to have an awesome crochet section. Either that'll help the local, the whole local community of crocheters. Maybe more people will learn to crochet, or hopefully maybe all the local crocheters will be like, I'm going to try that book. So thank you, Rebecca. Linda Wood is here watching. Sharon Osborne, she says, very exciting. Can't wait to get the new book. Melanie Thomas, she says, I need this book now that I've seen the tops. So good. I hope you love it. And again, if you want to see all the patterns in this book, all you have to do is click on the link in the video description. Not only will you be able to see pictures of all the designs, you can see what yarns I use, you can see what sizes they come in, and I had pattern testers on this, so every single design in the book has multiple pattern, not pattern testers, multiple projects made. So if you want to see a design made in a different yarn, a different color, or just on a different person, you want to see how it worked up, there's tons of projects in here. So go check it out. Link is in the video description. Let's see. Amanda Woodbury, she says, I'm so excited for these. Can't wait to just pick one favorite. Can't pick just, I can't read. I can't read. My technology doesn't work. All the problems. You start touching things and it gets all messed up. Come on now. Come on, technology. There we go. Can't just pick one favorite, says Amanda Woodbury. Angelica's what? This is ridiculous. Guys, I get all the technology and sometimes it just doesn't. The technology just won't. It refuses. Debbie, she says, a 100% Salena Baca book. Congratulations. Thank you. It is. It's all Salena Baca and pattern testers and models. So I had lots of help, but all the designs are Salena Baca designs. Sherry Richards, it's here live. So good to see you. Sherry Richards, she says, can't wait to get my hands on your new book. Thank you. Thank you. Amanda Woodbury, she says, it's built up so much confidence in my crochet journey. I'm so glad. And Amanda Woodbury, I remember, for example, you were helping to test some of the things, because this is a skill building book. And I remember vividly, I vividly remember this from like 2 years ago, because that's how long it was since I worked on this book. You really wanted to test here it is. Wait a minute. The Thompson Poncho, before it was named the Thompson Poncho. You saw the pictures and you're like, oh, I want to do that. And then you were like, but I've never done join as you go before. And so we kind of just talked about the basics a little bit. And girl, you figured it out, because I wanted to make sure that the instructions and how to do join as you go, I wanted to make sure that if you've never done it before, that you could just read the pattern and read the instructions and read the notes and go, oh, I can figure that out. And Amanda did it. And so that's what I was looking for. I was looking for just everyday crocheters who wouldn't mind, just kind of testing some of these things out to make sure, does the book do what it says it's going to do? Because it says it's going to build your skills. So is it going to do that? So I'm glad it did that for you, Amanda Woodbury. Alfreda's here. Nancy's here. Shalina is here. Gloria, hello. Good to see you. Amanda Woodbury, she says, February went so fast. I know. It's already the 22nd. I can't even. I can't believe it's 2021. I can't. Melanie Thomas says, need this book. Rosetta Williams is here. Linda Wood is here. Vanessa says, can't wait for mine. If I didn't ship yours yet, Vanessa, then it's coming. Like I said, I've got a stack, so I need to go back to the post office. Amanda Woodbury says, I used to hate ponchos. Girl, same. She says, now I love them. Girl, same. And the same for me. There were so many things in crochet that I thought, I'm just not going to wear that. And then when I started it's all about yarn choice and fabric choice and fit. And I think that when you understand what style you are, because you're not going to like all the styles. You know, think about what clothing stores you shop at. You don't like all clothing stores. So the same thing with crochet. You don't like all styles. So as soon as you figure out what kind of styles you like and that you're going to wear, and you're choosing the best yarns to kind of make sure that it's being styled the way you want to be styled, then yeah, you can totally make crochet items that you love wearing. And that was kind of one of my mistakes. I wasn't able to make things in styles that I would normally wear and buy, or buy and wear. Anyway. So it really just kind of takes some figuring out in terms of what style you like, what fit you like, and then you get the right yarns, and yeah, you're creating favorite pieces. Sherry Richards, I'm still planning to snag a copy of Two Simple Shapes. It's next on my list. Amy McKeever, she says, Salena converted me to a team poncho too. Yeah, ponchos and tassels. I've converted a lot of people. I really have, because those are two things I was like, ain't no way. And now they're like two of my favorite things ever. So I know, right? I've done it for a lot of people. Amanda Woodbury says, this book is so inspiring. Thank you. Hetty Sanchez is here. Amy McKeever agrees. Yarn choice is important. If Amy says so, it's true. And she says yarn choice is important. So there you go. Donna says, are there patterns for plus people? I only design and write patterns for sizes and styles that I'm comfortable writing in. So part of my writing process, I'm going to tell you a long story before I give you the answer. Part of my writing process and design process is I make things that fit me that I want to wear. And that's my starting point. So most of the samples in here are things that fit me. I tried them on first to make sure, is it big enough? Is it small enough? Is it long enough? Is it doing everything that it needs to do in the neck and the shoulders and this? So I do that for me. And then I reasonably look at what sizes can this translate to. And so I really only translate to sizes that I'm comfortable with. And for this particular book, that means from size small to size XXL. So the size range, the largest size range that's within here is small, medium, large, XL, and XXL. So that was where I was comfortable, because I definitely don't want to be, I'm a size medium large. So not everything in here. And I did have a few plus size ladies in my group that fit into that XXL size range. And there were a few designs, and there's some of my, I love their feedback. They give me the best feedback. There are some designs that they're like, this just ain't going to work in my size. It's not going to work for these reasons. And so I don't just kind of throw math together to make a design be a certain size that may not fit the way it's supposed to. So really long answer to say, that's the size range that I'm comfortable working in. That's the reason I design the things that I do. And I stick with what I know, and I stick with what I think is going to work for the particular ranges. So that's my answer for you, Donna. Let me know what you think. Shalina's here. Angelica's here. Amanda Woodbury, she says, yes, each design has multiple sizes. Yes, every design does have multiple sizes. So depending on what it is, for example, we looked at the Woodbury poncho in the beginning, and because it's so forgiving in terms of shape and style, there are 3 sizes that it comes in: small, medium, and large. Because it didn't need a small, medium, large, XL, XXL. So really it just depends on the design, and it depends on the style. And then I just kind of, I write patterns accordingly. Jasmine's here. Hi, Jasmine. Good to see you. Hetty Sanchez is watching. Jasmine says, hello, everyone from Florida. Bonnie is here. She says, just ordered my book. Can't wait to get it. Let me know when it comes in. I can't wait to hear. Vanessa, she says, yes, I think most of the patterns go up to 2X. So XL is different from 2X. So, these are not plus sizes in terms of what I understand a plus size to be. So this goes up to X. The largest size is XXL, which I'm pretty sure is different from 2X. So I do want to have that clarification. Again, if you want to see the sizes and you want to see the dimensions, because I don't just give you sizes like small, I actually list out what the measurements are for the design. And if you want to see that for each one of the designs, just click on the link in the video description. You can get everything you need to know about all the designs. Jasmine says, wow, I would love that book. Terry says, hello to everyone. Amanda Woodbury says, oh, I love the Woodbury poncho. I know, that's why I named it after you. Vanessa's here. She says, congrats, Amanda Woodbury. Angelica's watching. Terry Sullivan's watching. Evelyn is watching. Hillary Thompson says, yes, I'm plus size and I tested a few of these patterns and they fit beautifully. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it. And of course, you got a pattern named after you as well, Hillary Thompson. Cynthia's watching. Evelyn is here from sunny California. Terry Sampson is watching. All right, I'm kind of scrolling through. Facebook just tells me everything about everyone that's watching, you know, so I'm just kind of scrolling through that. Vanessa says, I appreciate your singing. Okay, good. Because I can't have silence. I just got to keep making noise. Let's see. Amanda Woodbury says, so simple. Sherry Richards says, I'm in Central California. Where are you? If you don't mind me asking. I'm currently living in Central Oregon. I live in Bend, Oregon, and this July will be my 7th year here, but really I'm from all over. I've lived all over the world and all the places, but right now I live in Central Oregon. Lydia is watching. Amanda Woodbury says, I wear the Sprightly Pullover all the time. Lady, I don't think I've seen a picture of you in this Sprightly Pullover in a long time. You know what? I'm looking right now to see if your pattern is listed here. There are 3 projects listed for the Sprightly Pullover. Oh, Amanda, yours is there. It's the purple one. I forgot about that. It looks so cute on you. It looks so adorable on you, and I love your picture. If you guys want to see Amanda Woodbury's project, you totally can. Link in the video description. You guys can see different people wearing it. I forgot about that, Amanda Woodbury. I'm so glad you reminded me. Vanessa loves high-low tops. I've got one high-low top in here. Angelica McKinney, she says, I'm not thrilled with sewing. So what I love about sewing pieces together, or what I love about, let me backtrack a lot. So my design style is to create things as simplistically as possible. So sometimes that means one piece, and sometimes it means let me create a few different pieces and then join those pieces together in some way. So I'm going to share with you guys some resources in the video description from the American Crochet Association, because there's actually 9 different ways you can join things with crochet and sewing, okay? So really, whenever a pattern says make these pieces, sew them together, you can sew them together. You can do a whip stitch, you can do a mattress stitch, you can do a blanket stitch. I've got a video tutorial on each one of those things, again, from the American Crochet Association. Maybe you're like, I don't want to sew. I'd rather crochet when I'm done. There are 3 different methods to crochet whenever you're done. And maybe you're thinking, maybe there's a way that instead of just kind of fastening off, sometimes for some projects, maybe I want to join as I go, right? So there are 3 different methods for joining as you go as well. So again, 9 different ways that you can join pieces of crochet together, either with crochet, either as you're working, when you're done, or you can sew. And there's a few different variations or different techniques that you can utilize to sew those pieces together. So again, I'm gonna drop some links there, and after you watch those videos, maybe you'll feel more confident about doing that. Now, again, the reason I create things in different pieces sometimes is that sometimes it breaks up a really big project, right? I certainly sometimes, whenever I'm creating something and it is kind of big, sometimes I'm like, you know, this really could be more than one piece, and then it's just less that I'm lugging around. It's less weight, you know, with every row that you're working, instead of flipping that whole mass around, you know, just creating smaller pieces makes things you know, more portable, easier to approach, and just kind of looking at a big project. It makes you feel more likely to kind of pick it up and finish it. That's my own brain and mentality, right? So all of those reasons are the reasons why some of my projects are broken up into those smaller pieces. Also, whenever things are smaller pieces, it's much easier to size those things to see, is my stitch gauge working up according to the pattern? Because when you can see that on a smaller scale, especially when you're beginning and you're approaching close, you can really kind of gain some confidence in terms of what your finished project is going to look like and determine whether or not it's actually going to fit. Because something that I lived through a few times before I actually made a top that I loved was I was making things and I couldn't tell whether or not it was going to fit or how it was going to fit until after it was 100% done and I'd try it on and go, no, that just did not work at all. So I really wanted to eliminate that frustration point. I really wanted to eliminate that frustration point, and sometimes creating those smaller pieces, even if you're like, I don't like small pieces, I don't like to sew, I don't like to do that. Sometimes doing that, especially when you're beginning, it's a really good introduction into creating clothes that you love. Amanda Woodbury says, I did not test motifs because of all the joining. I swore that you did, and maybe you didn't finish it 100%. I'm going to go check. But I'm pretty sure that we were talking about the Thompson Poncho, and you were like, yep, here it is. And I got a picture of you wearing it. Okay, maybe I misunderstood, because you were like, I don't know, I've never done this before. And your finished project, it's beautiful, and it looks exactly like the picture, so you did it, and you're amazing, and I appreciate you. But she says, I did not test motifs because of all the joining. Yeah, I know that you didn't test all the different motifs pattern, but you did test the Thompson Poncho. And it looks beautiful on you, and I love it. Amy McKeever says, I'll admit I fear the motifs. And that's why I broke up the motif section into so many different motifs. And it starts with just, here's 2 giant motifs. And there's a few patterns that use just really big motifs that you then, you join or you sew together in some way. And then there are patterns that have the much smaller motifs. There's one pattern, the ZZ Twist Vest. It is all tiny motifs. But I made that entire vest in a day. I watched a couple movies and I was done. And were there a lot of ends to sew in? Yeah. But I was so happy with the way that it turned out that it was fine. I made it. It's done. I blocked it when I was finished. It worked out great. I loved it. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Another motif design is the Ramsdell Cardigan. And again, it's this really, it's this varied version of a granny square. So it is a square, but it's not a traditional granny square. And you're just kind of joining a strip of those as you go. And then the rest of the cardigan is worked off of that. So really it's just a little piece of the design just to, help nudge you in the direction of what it means to join as you go with something square. And then you're actually working up this entire cardigan where that's just a little, like a little sneak of something different, but it's not the entire thing. Let's see who else is here. What are you guys saying? Evelyn is here. She says, I'm in the Diamond Bar area, a suburb of Los Angeles. Ooh, thank you for checking in. Bonnie is here. She says, I love that open motif look. It might be cool enough to wear in South Carolina. Nice. Nice. Thank you. Hillary Thompson says, I'm a fan of motifs. You're not stuck with the beginning chain and can adjust size if necessary along the way. Sewing doesn't bother me at all. As soon as I learned how to sew and join properly, and I learned that there was more than one way to do it, I can definitely tell where it benefits me to use those techniques. So it's nice just to kind of learn something new to see what the potential could be. And maybe it's something you use and maybe it's something you don't. Terry says, I love motifs as long as I can crochet them together. Yes, that's a fun way to do it. Amanda Woodbury says, I do like the hawk poncho. I may make it eventually. I'd love to see that. All right, who else is here? Hillary Thompson says, yay, I love the Thompson Poncho. Well, of course, silly. That's why I named it after you. I'm so glad you love it. Amanda Woodbury, she says, I forgot that I tested the Thompson Poncho. Yeah, I vividly remember that conversation because I was encouraging my pattern testers. I was like, hey, if you guys have never used these techniques before, but you're interested in this design, I encourage you to try it. Because that was what this entire book was about, encouraging people to try designs that they were really excited about. But maybe it's using something different that, you know, not only can you learn how to do that different thing, but then you know, you're not intimidated. You don't go, well, I don't know how to do join as you go, so I'm not going to try to make a poncho using it. Why would I do that? I don't know how to do that. So I don't want to spend all my time and effort and energy making something that isn't going to work or isn't going to fit right. So that was the entire premise of this book. So I was so glad when I got Amanda Woodbury and others to kind of try new things that were outside of their comfort zone. Amanda Dodge says, love this book. I'm so glad. Thank you. Vanessa, she says, I love crocheting neck down in the round. Girl, same. I had so much fun with that particular section, just because I think that's one of my favorite ways to work is top down in the round. For a few different reasons. One, you know, you can easily just try it on to see, is it fitting? Is it doing what it needs to do? And it just really kind of comes together so quickly. I feel like you're just kind of done before you know it, just because of how you're working. So it's really encouraging. Hillary Thompson says, ponchos are great. Amanda Woodbury says, Lindsey Blouse will be the first one I make when the book comes. Oh, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see. Vanessa says the Lindsey Blouse was my favorite one to test. I remember my neck, sorry. I'm so stiff looking at you guys like from an angle. I remember your tester pictures of that, and I just thought whomever you had to model, it just was so cute. I was really, really happy with how that worked out. I remember yours. Terry B, she says the rainbow top is just gorgeous. Can't wait to make it. Rena's here. Hey, Rena, good to see you. Melissa says, thanks for the sneak peek of the book. My pleasure. Julie Goers is here. She can't wait to get this book. Sherry Richards says, I made a tweed sweater. I plan to make at least one more. They're addicting, right? I know I made one, then I immediately made another in another yarn because I was so excited about it. Sharon Osborne is here. Hello. She says, the variety looks amazing. I'm so glad you think so. Amanda Woodbury says, it was so fun to test these. Vanessa, she says, you said my last name correctly. Most people don't. Vanessa Guida, right? I can read sometimes. I'm glad I said it right. Sometimes I say names wrong. Let's see. Angelica, she says, I can't wait to get this book. Rena, I want that book. Rena says that rainbow top looks super cute. Lori Younger is here from Alaska. Thank you so much for checking in. Julie Goers, she says, can't wait to make this. Amanda Dodge says, am I the only one who got mine already? You might be, and I don't know how in the world you got yours. I think you said you ordered yours from Walmart and it came like a week ago. Yeah, I think you're the first one. I don't know anyone else who's getting theirs already. I have no idea how that happened. You must just have connections. I don't even have those connections. Kay Mathis, hello. Bonnie, she says, I'm an Amazonaholic. I have this book on pre-order and two simple shapes just ordered. She says, I am probably too new a crocheter to be very successful, but I'm giving it a shot. You know what? I'm so glad that you said that, Bonnie, because whenever you buy a pattern from me, if you buy one of my books, my contact information is in there. It's in the resource section. It says, if you have any questions, here's how to find me. So when you buy my books, come find me if you have any questions. I would love to help. You can either send me a message on Ravelry or you can send me an email. So that's what you get when you get a Salena Baca pattern. And I can't wait to see what you make. Sherry Richards. Technical issues. Yeah, when my thing keeps falling. It's sad. I don't know what's wrong with it. Let's see. Hillary Thompson, I learned join as you go from your table runner pattern. Yeah, that was another reason I created that. So that way it was a fun, gentle introduction to learning something new. I'm glad you liked it. Rena, she says, love me some ponchos. Me too, girl. Angelica, yeah, tassels was not my thing. Now I love them. I know, me too. Sarah Jo cannot wait for this book. Me neither. I can't wait for you guys to get it and have it in hand, and I can't wait to see what you guys think and what you make, and I'm just so excited for it. Rosie is here. Hey, Rosie. Who else is here? Again, while we're here live, any questions, comments, feedback? I can't wait to see. Let's see. Cindy is here from Round Rock, Texas. She says, we've thawed out. You guys stay safe down there in Texas. That's some business going on down there, man. Rena's here from Sacramento, California. Terry Sullivan is here. Hello. Melissa Weber is here from Utah. Terry Sullivan is from Staten Island, New York, checking in. Emily Jane, she says, you showed me a tutorial for crocheting squares together, and now I don't hate the finishing part of making a blanket from squares. Yeah, so I do have a few videos on joining techniques. They're quick and to the point, and they basically show you how to join as you go when you're crocheting, so a few different methods, how to join when you're done with crochet, 3 different methods, how to sew everything together when you're done, 3 different methods. So I can't wait to share those with you guys so we can spread the knowledge. Oh my gosh, so many of you guys are checking in. Thank you. Terry says, love the top on the cover. This is the Vanessa T. This was one of my favorites as well. I really was very proud of this one. Jessica, she says, just bought your other book and am working on a poncho, my first one. I love how user-friendly it is for beginners. I have this on pre-order. Oh, I'm so glad. I hope you love it, and please share pictures when you're done in my group Salena Baca Crochet. I can't wait to see. Jessica, she says, can you show the sneak peek again for those that just joined? Yeah, so there's 2 things you can do. One, you can go back in the beginning of the video and just watch the whole video from the beginning, and you won't miss a thing. But then also click on the link in the video description, because it will show every single pattern, not just what they look like. You can see tester projects. You can see a variety of these, what yarn they're made in, what the sizes they are. Everything you need to know about every single pattern. So those 2 things will help get you straight. Jerry Osborne is here. Hello, so good to see you. Jasmine, she says, love that book. Thank you. Melissa, she says, you can rewatch the video when the live is over. Yes, absolutely. Shelly says, I need to find the video on joining rounds. Ooh, I've got videos on that too. So basically anything you would, if you guys want to learn anything from me, all of my teaching knowledge is going to the American Crochet Association. So I got a video for that, I promise. Including joining rounds. Linda Woodthorpe is here. So good to see you, my friend. Of course, the Woodthorpe cardigan is in here as well, because she was one of my amazing testers in this book. And Linda says that she is working on the ZZ twist vest right now. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see what you think. I can't wait to see your finished project. So keep me posted, Linda. Lisa Clark is here from Ohio. And that's it. That's all the shout outs. I went through all the questions, comments, feedback, and I think that's all I got for you guys today. So on that note, guys, Crochet Tops, Build Your Skills book. It's a book that, kind of helps you to approach different things in crochets, all while making 26 simple patterns for first-time sweaters, shrugs, ponchos, and more. Guys, it's going to be out in 1 week, this time next week. I'm so excited for that. So if you guys want more information, you want to see all of the different patterns, just click on the link in the video description. If you guys love this book, if you think it's totally awesome and you want to share it with more crocheters, please, either 1, share this video in just one place where you enjoy crochet if you think they're going to dig it too, or please tag a crochet friend in the comments. I would really appreciate it. All right. And if you guys have this book on pre-order, as soon as it comes in, come on over to my group, share a picture. I can't wait to see who's getting this book. I can't wait to see what your first project is going to be. And again, if you got any questions, I'm always here. Okay. Peace, love, crochet, everybody. Thank you for mingling with me on this Monday. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.